Good morning and welcome. My name is Josh Moreno. I'm the Associate Director for the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing, Office Student Affairs. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce the members of the Platform Party. Dr. Richard Lang, President, Texas Tech University Health Science Center El Paso and Dean of the Paul Foster School of Medicine. Dr. Paul E. Ogden, Provost and Vice President for Academic Affairs. Dr. Tracy Lopez, Assistant Dean and Assistant Professor at the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing. Dr. Manuel Santa Cruz, Assistant Dean and Assistant Professor at the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing. Dr. Stephanie L. Woods, Dean and Professor for the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing. Dr. Woods is also the keynote speaker for today's ceremony. While not physically present, the faculty for the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing are participating virtually with us today.
To the nursing students of the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing, it's a privilege to address you today on this momentous event of your graduation. And I truly regret it's a virtual ceremony. I would much rather see you in person, address you in person, congratulate you in person, and watch you celebrate with your friends, your family, your classmates, your faculty, and the staff. And I know you'd prefer an in-person ceremony as well. It's an understatement to say that what you have achieved is momentous and life-changing. It's hard enough to stay focused, committed, and dedicated to a rigorous curriculum when there are no distractions. It's even more remarkable when you consider the environment, the so-called petri dish, in which you accomplished your spectacular growth. In August 2019, a mass casualty crisis was thrust upon our community, and you were in the middle of it. And now, in March 2020, a pandemic crisis that has affected the world, not only your world, but the world around you as well. And yet, you maintain your focus and are here to graduate. El Paso and our community has emerged stronger and more resolved as a result of each of these challenges. Our community has not been defined by the crisis we face, but by our response to it. These crises don't define who we are, they reveal it. A community of compassion, caring, resilience, giving, and commitment. And the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing is a microcosm of this community. You as nursing students have demonstrated compassion for each other in our community, caring by giving back to our community, by helping one another, and volunteering in our community. Resilience in your persistence and commitment and adaptation to complete your education. Giving to each other, the Student Government Association, the staff, the faculty, and our own community. And finally, commitment. A commitment to master the education and the clinical responsibilities that you have. The character of the Gayle Hunt School of Nursing and each of you has been on full display for our university and community to see during these crises. And I can say I am proud of each and every one of you. What we experience together is a present-day, real-life lesson on how to approach the unknown and adversity as a community, a university, and as individuals. And what you have demonstrated to our community is that success is not the absence of adversity or failure. Rather, it is persistence through adversity and failure. I am proud of each and every one of you, and it's an honor to celebrate this momentous occasion with you today. Congratulations.
Hello, everyone. It's my pleasure to introduce your guest speaker for this afternoon. I am Dr. Santa Cruz, the Assistant Dean for the School of Nursing. Dr. Woods joined the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso Gayle Hunt School of Nursing as the Dean and Professor in July of 2018, after serving as the Associate Dean for the Houston J. and Florence A. Doswell College of Nursing at Texas Women's University, Dallas for 9 years. Dr. Woods has held executive roles in healthcare and higher education in San Antonio and Dallas, Texas, as well as interim roles in New Mexico. She has also served on the faculties of the University of Texas Health Sciences Center in San Antonio the University of Incarnate Word, and she also holds a bachelor's degree from Texas Women's University, a master's degree from the University of Texas Health Sciences Center in San Antonio, and a doctoral degree from the University of Texas at Austin. She began her professional career in critical care with a specialty in cardiac nursing. Dr. Woods has over 35 years of experience in nursing. She brings a passion for developing clinical leaders and has served on Texas Health Presbyterian Hospital Dallas Board, the Board of Managers for the Parkland Health and Hospital System, and the Dallas-Fort Worth Hospital Council Foundation Board. Please help me welcome your guest speaker, Dr. Stephanie Woods.
Well, hello, graduates, and don't you look wonderful? One of the many things that I love about graduation is the formality of the academic regalia, blinged out with whatever you did to your cap, plus those who win the most shawls and cords competition. Even though we can't be with you physically, we are with you in spirit, and it is a joyful thing indeed to celebrate graduation. And so I hope that today you are surrounded as well, virtually, by family and friends who have supported you through this journey of nursing school. At last December's graduation ceremonies, I addressed our graduating students, telling them they would always be remembered for the role they played in the mass shooting on August 3rd. I had hoped that that would be the most traumatizing event that they and our city would ever experience. Not in my wildest dreams could I have imagined that this graduating class would be forever associated with becoming nurses during the time of COVID-19. Just as I remember exactly where I was when I first heard of the mass shooting, I will never forget where I was when I heard we had our first confirmed case of COVID-19. In both instances, I knew our world had fundamentally changed, and I knew our students were going to be impacted. The American Nurses Association's social policy statement became starkly real these past 45 days. The social policy statement lays out the unique accountability and relationship that nurses have with society. It reminds us that nurses serve the interest of society, communities, and individuals. One part of the social policy statement doesn't get much attention, at least not until nurses find themselves in extreme conditions like a mass casualty, a natural disaster, or a pandemic. The section of the social policy statement reads, "Healthcare providers provide care under extreme conditions, thereby weighing their obligation to provide care with their own health and that of their families during emergencies." Weighing. Can you see the scales and how when we are faced with dilemmas, we weigh the options, trying to achieve some balance? On one side, in this particular instance, the nurse weighs the requirement to provide care to COVID-19 patients, but on the other side, weighs the potential cost to themselves and those that they love. This is where the decision to become a nurse becomes all too real. Your faculty and I have watched you weighing those seemingly opposing requirements every day since this began. Early on, one of your peers, Heather Scarborough, wrote me saying, "As a soon-to-be nurse, I have acknowledged the fact that in my career I will be potentially exposed to several pathogens. Nonetheless, I stand ready to serve my community and patients in any way that I can." Across history, you can place nurses in the midst of emergencies. The very beginnings of our discipline dates back to Florence Nightingale's service in the Crimean War. Clara Barton led the formation of the American Red Cross post-Civil War. Australian nurse Elizabeth Kinney pioneered new treatments in the midst of the polio epidemic. And most certainly, our military nurses have distinguished themselves and our discipline during times of war. But of course, this pandemic, you were not yet a nurse. Daily, I had to weigh out those opposing obligations of you delivering care to potential COVID-19 cases with the possibility that such care could put you and those you love at risk. There were so many concerns. In the early days of the pandemic, we sent out a survey to see what about COVID-19 was most concerning to you. Over 50% of you responded. You told us that you were trying to weigh out your fears that you would not graduate on time with the health and safety of yourself and those that you cared for. Your faculty and I took those two opposing forces, and we used those to guide our approach to how we would respond during this time of the pandemic. Daily, we met to discuss this, and we worried over the decision to keep you in clinicals, but we knew we needed to do that for as long as was possible, because we felt that the only thing worse than you being in clinicals during a pandemic was that you would have to graduate and have your first job be in a pandemic, and we wanted you to be prepared. One of our graduates today, Erica Livas, and I exchanged several emails during the time we were grappling with the decision to keep you in clinical. In one email, she shared that she was an experienced EMT and that she had dealt with stressful situations and some horrific calls, but she said COVID had been so much more difficult because she felt that it showed the ill preparedness we had in our nation to deal with an event of this magnitude. I agreed with her. We proceeded with caution, and early on I began to touch base with students asking, how is clinical going? What are you learning? What is it like to be in the hospitals during this time? And the emails that you sent me were nothing short of amazing, and they are something that will be in my memory box for the rest of my life. I want to share just a few of those with you today. Mary Mathis was the first student I checked on. I had heard that she had a very, very complicated patient, and initially there had been some confusion as to whether or not that patient was COVID positive or not. It turned out that the patient was negative, but Mary and her preceptor had not been given an adequate report at change of shift, and they were not aware yet that the patient was negative. At the end of a very hard day, Mary wrote me back and said that the most challenging and saddest diagnosis she had ever worked with was ARDS. She said, it upset me to see a patient in such a critical state. And even though the patient was very sick and a lot of clinicians were not sure about his outcome, my heart was fighting with him the whole day to push through so he could make a speedy recovery. Mary astutely assessed that care for a patient has to include knowledge and compassion. And this theme was echoed in other emails from other students. Karina Rodarte told me that the most important thing she learned was how important it is to alleviate the stress of the patient. Heather Scarborough came to the same conclusion as she cared for a laboring woman who could have no visitors. She wrote, "What I saw yesterday just proved to me how valuable we are as students and how we can be there for these patients who desperately need encouragement and uplift them during our interactions with them during a strict no-visitor policy period." You see, sometimes life gives you an experience you would have never asked for, but the experience refines a treasure within you that you didn't know existed before. Priscilla Macias elegantly stated it this way: "I believe this is a time to be brave and to dig back into the moments when we chose to become a nurse." But perhaps a story from one of your own peers who became a patient is most telling. I'm sure most of you know that we had a nursing student who was very ill with COVID-19. The student did not contract the infection from a patient, but rather from traveling. But I want you to listen to this student's assessment of the nurses that provided care to the student. "I want to share some things I noticed during my lengthy stay in the hospital. I also hope you can share my message with my fellow nursing students. This message is about how great the nurses were in providing care and in adding the human social interaction when I was at my lowest. During my hospital admission, I had at least 8 nurses that were involved in my healthcare team. 3 of those nurses were phenomenal and truly encompassed what a nurse should be. They actually performed their nursing assessments and established their daily shift baselines. They not only took my vital signs, but they took the time to listen to my heart, my lungs, to conduct a neurocheck, check my distal pulses, and then they genuinely and sincerely wanted to know how I was doing. Then again, I also had a couple of nurses who just took vitals, performed no nursing assessment, and at the start of their shift, they had as little and as short an interaction as possible with me. I really felt like they just wanted to get out of my room as quickly as possible. I used to work with a faculty member who would ask her students, "What kind of nurse do you want to be? Are you going to be one of those great nurses that your student peer described? Or are you going to be one of those nurses who simply wants to get out of the room?" Bravery is a concept that comes into play during times like these. The world quickly wants to celebrate bravery and hang the label of hero on healthcare workers. And indeed, you are heroes. But that label comes with strange baggage. You see, we have the false belief that heroes are unafraid. That is so far from the truth. The more probable case is that heroes complete the work they're assigned, even if they are afraid. Your faculty and I tried to arm you for battle with knowledge, but we also knew you would have to summon the courage to continue your clinical experiences, and you found that courage. I have looked for every chance possible to tell your stories so that this community and beyond would know that even while you were justifiably afraid, you showed up for your community. Being a hero does not mean you are unafraid. It means you do what is required despite being afraid. I hope that in this fight, you knew that you were surrounded by a great army, and that army has been your faculty. And I hope you know how hard they have worked to support you and to keep you safe. Some of you perceived that and made the effort to reach out and commend the faculty. Celestine Garcia wrote to tell me she was trying to balance studying for finals while attempting to teach her school-aged children math at the kitchen table. She was so busy and I couldn't believe she actually took time to write me. But she said, "It truly warms my heart to be able to be part of the Gayle Greve Hunt School of Nursing family during this time. Being able to hear from faculty that they are here for us and that they are trying to help us succeed as well is heartwarming. Your faculty has indeed been with you all the way. I reached out to them to ask for them to give me some words that they feel describe you best. And these are the words they came up with: resilient, inspiring, audacious, selfless, leaders, superstars, brave, strong, dedicated. And that's only a few of the things that they said about you. And all this time you thought they didn't like you, see? But I'll tell you this. I came up with a word that I like very much for you, and that's the word noble. It's an old-fashioned word, but what it speaks to is a person who has fine personal qualities, one with high moral principles, and one who is excellent. So given the high regard in which we hold this graduating cohort, I would like to tell you that your graduating class is receiving a DAISY Award in training for your noble response to COVID-19. The DAISY Foundation created the awards to recognize extraordinary nurses and nurses in training. This foundation was created to honor the life of a man who died from autoimmune disease. And the DAISY acronym stands for Diseases Attacking the Immune System. When you receive your diplomas, you will have a DAISY certificate and a pin recognizing you as a DAISY Award recipient. And a plaque will hang prominently in the nursing school to celebrate this accomplishment for you. You will be a witness to those who follow behind of what bravery really is. We want to congratulate you on this award, and we believe it'll be the first of many across your career. We were already proud of this class, but your uncommon bravery in this last semester has distinguished you greatly. So congratulations on accomplishing your goal of graduation, and now for your career, aspire to be that noble nurse, respected by all, well remembered by all. Congratulations, graduates. Now, I want to take a moment to recognize student leaders in the School of Nursing who have been active in TNSA, MNA, and NSU. The Gayle Greve Hunt School of Nursing would like to recognize your leadership and your participation in extracurricular student activities. And the students who participated in these organizations have committed their time and energy to represent Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso with pride and professionalism throughout the community. So thank you, students, for being willing to serve and to participate. So now, let's proceed with the conferring of degrees. Degrees are awarded to those who have successfully completed all requirements established by Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center El Paso and the faculty. Dr. Lang, on behalf of all the faculty, the candidates of the Gayle Greve Hunt School of Nursing are recommended to you for conferring of their nursing degrees.
Well, Dr. Woods, this is the funnest part of the ceremony for me. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Regents of the Texas Tech University system, I confer upon each of you the degree for which the Dean of the Gayle Greve Hunt School of Nursing has recommended you. Congratulations. We now have a special guest who has graciously agreed to read the names of each of our graduating students.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Valle.
And I'm Eric Elkin. We're the evening anchor team here at ABC 7. Stephanie and I are honored to help you and your classmates at the Texas Tech University Health Sciences Center of El Paso usher in this new chapter in your professional lives as nurses.
You native Sun City residents know you're filling a need for nurses here, and all of you know what it means to be on the front lines in healthcare by taking care of our community during this pandemic. That's why you are our future healthcare heroes.
Thank you for your dedication and congratulations.
Here are the Gayle Greve Hunt School of Nursing Class of 2020 graduates.
Milagros D. Acevedo, Catherine Aguilar, Yatzareth Adelahi Aguilar, Cassandra Renee Aguirre, Usaya Anchondo, Jose Heriberto Arrieta, Monica Arrieta, Janelle Carla Artalejo, Kimberly Bibon, Isabella Pia Cruz, Giselle Andrea Cabrales Chavira, Myrna Alejandra Canales, Carla Denise Carrillo, Brianna Casillas, Jessica Casares, Veronica Centeno, Rafael Tomás Chávez Márquez, Andrew Moises Contreras, Courtney Shanisha Cooper, Juanisha Cora, Margarita Delgado, Aniel Dominguez, Mónica Duran, Heather Elder, Shana Fernandez, Raúl Flores, Carrie Brianne Fouts, Cynthia Rebecca Gamboa, Celestine Adela Garcia, Bethany Joy Goddard, Jade Jewel Gomez, Andrew Anthony Gonzalez, Ashley Diane Yin, Alexandra Harriel, Lucia Hernandez, Crystal Huizar, Tauhid O. Qasim, Elizabeth Sofia Lombardo, Kenia Lopez, Maritza Lopez, Marisela Flores Lozano, Candy A. Madrid,
Adriana Martinez, Mary M. Mathis, Alexis K. Maynes, Gina Renee Medina, Iris Amanda Mendez, Samantha Celeste Meraz Torres, Amber Murillo, Rafael Navarrete, Sabrina Nur, Melissa Celeste Olivares, Ernesto Ortiz, Kamse Pangasiri, Gabriela Renee Partida, Liliana Yasmin Rangel, Brittany Ray, Natalia Daniela Rios, Tony Allison Robles, Karina Amanda Rodarte, April Rodriguez, Saul Rojas, Heather Victoria Scarborough, Janine Mara Schonbrunn, Youngwin Shin, Rachel Silver, Hongjun Tao, Pamela Renee Tapia, Carlos Valles, Kendra G. Vega, Xiaoyu Zhu, Brenda Coates, Scott Galloway, Bian Herrera, Jalen Newman, Stephanie Plavin, Daniel Ramirez, Yasmin Resendez, Ashley Thompson, Rebecca Vargas, Graciela Vasquez, Naomi Renee Rigoyen Ortega, Thomas Ars, Jeremy Dixon, Brittany Alexis Felix, Adriana Gutierrez, Jordan McCoy, Crystal Marie Montelongo, Jacqueline Vasquez, Yuvia Bryant, Teresa Castorena Hernandez, Pamela Michelle Chavez, Marie de la Cruz, Aurora Esparza, Lucero Gonzalez Rodriguez, Victoria Nicolette Morales, Cristiana Maria Martinez, Ashley L. Mendoza, Monica Ramirez, Marissa Ashley Reyes Hernandez, Aurora Quetzal Rivera, Roman San Roman, Valerie Vasquez. Next, we will award the degrees to a very special group of graduates. Today, we celebrate the inaugural graduates from the Masters of Science in Nursing program. Argelia Deneen, Violet Marie Duran, Angel Lopez, Cristina May Rivas,
I would like to thank our faculty and staff for their dedication in preparing this new team of nurses so well for the challenges that lie before them. A noble group of nurses. And to you, the graduates, I am pleased to add my sincere congratulations to each of you. And as you leave Texas Tech, I charge each of you to be dedicated to your profession, your institution, and your peers. Never compromise your integrity or the character of your friends, colleagues, or professors who have stood before you. I ask you to be diligent in being a lifelong learner, The degree that is conferred upon you today is only the beginning of your education. It's not the end. Be dissatisfied with anything less than your very best. The world is filled with individuals who are satisfied with mediocrity, but you be different. Don't settle for anything less than your full potential. Be daring. Don't just dream of doing something big and audacious. As Nike would say, just do it. Be devoted to helping those who are infirmed, those who are less fortunate, those who are needy. They need your compassionate and competent care. We are proud for what each of you has accomplished. You are our greatest measure of success. I have every confidence that you will be a great asset in the years ahead, and best wishes to all of you. Now, there is another very important group of individuals who are deserving of our recognition. They are the graduates, alumni, family, and friends who have been in the military service. Please accept our heartfelt appreciation for your service to our country and to us. And now, one thing remains before we part. Thank you to the family and friends who have supported you and encouraged you all the way in your efforts to gain this education.
Graduates, we all want to acknowledge that this might not have been the vision you had for graduation, but we want to tell you that despite being physically apart, we are united in our spirit with you and in our pride and joy of your accomplishments. This concludes our commencement ceremony, and we thank you all for attending.